Okay, all right. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm that you can hear me so we can proceed. If you can hear me, please confirm that you can hear me. Let's proceed.
I can hear you, sir.
Great. Great. So today we're going to be talking about content management system, right? So this knowledge, like I was sharing before now, when you combine it with the knowledge from the previous class where we talked about blog review checklist, I said you can use this to dish out a lot of value to us and content writing team, as the case may be. With the knowledge from this particular session, you can be able to manage content writing teams, right? At least to an extent. So while previously we have talked about content writing, we have looked at SEO processes. With the knowledge from that and then content management system, you should be able to milk out value, whether you are a writer yourself or you are managing some writers, or you are managing a site, or you're in an organization where people have a site and needs somebody to have an eye on it, even if you're by using freelance writers or whatever the case may be. So that is what content management system will be about. There's a part of it that we might not have time to go into in this class. That is where to manage different content writers, to manage the writers themselves. We might not cover managing the writers themselves. All right, so let's begin. Content management system, for this scope, we're just simply talking about the process where you manage the contents on your site or the site of your client or the site of your organization. I hope I'm communicating. Please, you can use the reaction buttons or to let me know. So content management system is how you manage the content on a website. Either that website is for your clients or yours or for the organization you work in, however the case. So that is what the content management system is. Now, for content management system, we need to understand some things. First, we need to know what Google Analytics is, or Google Console is. So Google Analytics is a product by Google which you can register for, and you will be asked to input your website information so that it could be able to track the performance of your website and all of that. So first, you need to know what Google Analytics means, and you need to understand some of the data that you can find on Google Analytics. I'll try and show you people that, and they'll just give you an overview of some of the data you find on your Google Analytics report and which ones are important for you or to you. We might really not go into Google Console for this night, but that is it. So today's class is also going to be Swift, but aside understanding Google Analytics, you want to know to manage content properly, you want to know some important things. Some of the important things you need to know about your site is the ease of content use. So as an SEO, you need to understand the ease of content use for any website. This is where you combine the knowledge from the SEO checklist I taught in the last class. If you have not gone through that class, go back and review what was taught again. How easy is it to use your content? If people have to come to your site to read the content, how easy is it to read your content? The text font, the text size, is it comfortable? All of these things you have to review it from time to time. You get, is the color of your text also okay? There are some sites you go to, the color of their text is ash, not black. Mostly you see black text. So some people tweak theirs. You need to always ask, is it easy with the way these content texts are? Do people, when they come and read, is it easy for them to use that site? If at any point in time you find out that people do not find it easy to use, as a content manager, you need to quickly find a way to address that issue. Also, there are some sites, if you agree with me, that you go to, you might find out that the contents are either aligned right or left or centralized. So you also, part of your work in managing content is also to check and ensure that the content on your site, the alignment is proper for the users of your content. Another thing you have to look, how easy is it to use your website? That's exactly what I'm talking about. You need to know, like, the navigation of your site. How easy is it for somebody to move from one page to another page? At any point in time where you find out that it's difficult navigating through your site, right? You need to call the attention of either the web developers, if you are using external web developers, or the internal developers if you are using internal developers. So at every time you need to be sure that your website is easy to use. How fast is your website? Your website speed also comes in content management, right? At every point in time, you need to be sure that your content is loading fast enough, right? Your content is loading fast enough, it's not slow, so that remember that even you as a user, when you go to a site and you try using the site and the site is wasting so much time to load, you want to leave the site immediately, right? You want to leave the site immediately. So I'm just going to try and see if I can show us a bit of examples using different site architecture to show us one or two things. Let's see what we can learn from the different. So this is our site, right? About, okay, so I'm just going to agree about what I'm talking about. So if you see, okay, thank you. I'm not downloading for now. So if you see this, right, as is centralized. So when you come, you as a reader, you're reading from the center. Are you seeing what I was trying to talk about? You're reading from the center. Now it's going to be a different ball game if perhaps you go to this site. So this site, okay, theirs is also on the center, right? So I want to find another site that has theirs left or right aligned, just for let me see, just for purpose of citing examples. Okay, this is also center aligned, but let me see if I can find any blog posts from them. I really want to categorize. This is still jobs. Let me see. Where can I find? Just give me a minute while I think. Okay, let me see. Indeed. So let me see. I'm trying to see other sites just to show us. I know we might have seen, but we've not probably been taking into account. So this one is kind of still central, but is a little bit left aligned. But I'm really looking for, then talking about navigation, right? You can see how all of these things are to help navigation. You get all this content here, which would help you go to other pages, right? And when you come down, you still see some other links. You get, I'll take it to other pages. It's to help navigation. It's similar to what you can also find on our site, right? This is to buttress the second point, how easy is it to use your website? So the moment somebody comes in, how easy is it to move from one page to another page and all of that. So as a content manager, at every point in time, you have to look out for that. How fast is your site? So when you try loading a page, how fast does it load? Does it take forever to load? At every time, every point in time, you want to be looking at when the network is really good, how slow or how fast. So if your site is slowing down, you want to look at what is the cause, especially unless if it's your network, you should know when it's being caused, the slowness is being caused by your network or a network, and when naturally maybe your site is slowing down. If your site is slowing down, then you begin to either do some revamping work to clear up some stuff that might be making the page you are loading heavy, or as the case may be. So I can't give you I can't think of a website now that their content is left or right aligned. But if you begin to observe as you go, you find some of those sites. So as a content manager, at every point in time, you need to be looking out for these things and addressing them as you go. How easy is it to solve through pages of your site? Is similar to what I've already explained when I was talking about moving from one side to the other. So in content management systems, you need to always look at these things. So the next thing is site architecture and URL structure. Now, currently for our site architecture, what that means is how is your site organized, right? How is your site organized, and also the same as navigation. So, but in order not to get too technical, the other thing I want to go into is now URL structure. So if you see our URL structure, it is structured in a way where you have the website name, right? And then the next thing, the title of the content, right? The website name, the title of the content. However, if you look at these sites, their own URL structure is different. Their own is the website name, the category, and then the title of the content. So as you can see in this place. So let me just remove this. This is from the extension that I came through. So you can see this is how their own URL structure is. Now, if you look at the URL structure also for Indeed, you see that it is their website name. The next you see is the category, and then the next is the content name. So in content management systems, we usually say that once your content have gotten to, you have over 2,000 content on your site, 2,000 content on your site. Some people, once it even gets to 1,000, they have changed the URL structure so that every content, when the algorithm or when the crawlers are coming to read the content, they are not just reading the fasthire.org/content title. So they will read the website address, read the category that content has been put into before they now go to the content name. So if they are coming to read the content, for instance, they know that the content they are going to read is from so and so, or is in so and so category. So they expect, for instance, if you have the fasthire.org/career review, they know that all the content that is coming next is in career advice or career review session. If you have /job seeking or job search, they know that content that is coming is in the area of job search. So it also helps the algorithm build topical authority for your site, right? So that is why I said when you combine the knowledge from here with the previous class, you make a lot of sense. So you have to manage your site architecture. So once I say it again, once the content on the site has started getting to 1,000, feel free to change the URL structure. So because by that time, the crawlers have a lot of things to crawl. So it will be easy for you to start helping them understand your content faster. So as opposed to then when you just had only 20 content on your site, and they can just scroll and understand what the content is about. Now you have a lot of content. So in content management, you have to always look out for that, so that you're not just writing content and then the algorithm are taking so long. Let's say, for instance, you have Bitcoin related content on your site, and you've written a lot of Bitcoin related content. So instead of leaving the content just like that, to say, for instance, Deborah's blog slash what price is Bitcoin as at November 2024. Instead of that, and then you have another content, deborahsblog.com slash when would Bitcoin go above 110K. Those are two contents. Now imagine if you had them arranged and the URL structure arranged in a way that you have something like deborahsblog.com slash Bitcoin slash how much is Bitcoin as at November 2024. Then the second content is also arranged in a way to say deborahsblog.com slash Bitcoin slash when will Bitcoin exceed 110K. So anytime the crawlers come to crawl your content, once they see Bitcoin before the title, they know that this content is related to Bitcoin. So imagine if you have about 50 contents with that Bitcoin. So the web crawlers and the algorithm will now build a topical authority for you around that keyword Bitcoin. They will know that to a greater extent you have content on your site that are relevant to Bitcoin. So that is also the importance of the URL structure. So you can check your sitemap. So also you can check your sitemap and that of your competitors. So for instance, if you want to okay, I think I have a slide where I'll show that, so I'll just leave that for now. I have a slide here. So manage and correct all faulty links / URL. So in content management, from time to time, always revisit your old content. You get maker time every year where you revisit old content and clean off content that maybe have not become spammy or have become or are now having 404 error. So you correct them, change them, refresh them. Any link that is not loading properly, you remove them, put fresher ones, so that it also does not affect the quality of your content and how well your content loads. So all of these come into content management. Content management is all the things you do when you already have content. Now, this is not when you're still creating content. You have content. So part of content management system is that blog content checklist I told you, which you can use to always review old content, bring them up to speed. So that is still part of content management system. And I covered that part in the last class, so that we'll be able, will not spend a lot of time there. So that's about site architecture and URL structure. So you can learn from your competitors or people in your niche. You get always open yourself up to learning. You get not just because you want to copy them, but always learn from them. This link here, sitemap_index.xml, you can use that on any site. You'll be able to see. So let's say, for instance, I have this subdomain. So this is a subdomain. So I can just say X, something I just called now, sitemap underscore index dot XML. So with this, I'll be able to see all, okay. Sitemap underscore index dot XML. Okay, let me do it for the main website and see. Sitemap XML. Mhm. Let me see. Also, let me use another site. Ah, what am I missing? Let me see. Okay, so this is ideally what it's supposed to do for the others. So, but I don't know, maybe they blocked it off, right? Because ideally you should be able to see um you should be able to have an idea of what they have been doing on the site for a period of time. You understand? So for us, you might not see a lot of new stuff because we have been doing more of for the past 3 months or thereabout, we've been reviewing our content as opposed to putting in new content. But for sites that did not block theirs, you should naturally be able to see even content that they recently posted. You will be able to see content that they recently posted underscore. Let me see. No, sorry. Let me see. Ireland. Okay, I think this might be the reason. So that just so let me see if I can. Index of X page not found. Hmm. So I don't know why it's showing like this, but this is not the way it's meant to show. It's supposed to show exactly this way. Like you would see even the content titles, right? You see the content title. So for lack of, in order not to continue or spend a lot of time on this, you can try it. Some sites, I also know that some sites block you off from seeing their sitemap, but as much as you can, you could see a majority of the sites. So you should be able to learn from your competitors how many from the sitemap you would see how many content they churn out in a day, right? You would be able to see how many content they publish in a day so that you too can follow suit, right? If your own content is not, if you're not writing up to that amount of content, you too can step up your game, right? You can step up your game. Just a minute. I'm trying to know why this thing is not working. Let me just try one. I'm coming, guys. Just give me a minute. Okay, I will recheck this. So I will recheck this again, and maybe in my last class, I would revisit this. So let me find out what exactly is wrong. So, but the idea behind that is that if you're not using maybe the other SEO tools you get, which they might not necessarily even show you what these guys are doing part-time. The sitemap is a way to see part-time what the different sites, maybe how many contents they produce in a day. So you can also advise your clients. So remember that's the importance of content management. If people in your niche or similar businesses as yours are producing this number of contents per day, you also have to now advise yourself or your client to say, this is what is the industry. So we also need to step up our content numbers to match what is happening. Then you also have the opportunity to see the kind of content they create and either follow suit. Not that you're going to copy them verbatim, but learn from them and then innovate in your own way. So the last thing we're going to talk about in terms of content management is build content like the city planners, right? I don't know how many of you have friends that are urban and regional planners? If you have, just indicate. If you have friends that are into urban and region planning, anybody? Anybody, or an architect? If you have a friend that is an architect, nobody. Okay, so you remember that, you know that these guys, they plan the city. They don't just go and start building houses anywhere, right? The city is well planned out, is well mapped out. Long before people even start building, they have mapped out how this city would be. Where would roads pass? Where would be recreational centers? Where would be this? Where would be that? You understand? So when you hear stuff like in the city's master plan, you get, we're supposed to have a park around this place. In the city's master plan, there's supposed to be a shopping mall in this place. So you're building residential houses. What we're supposed to have here are commercial buildings. You get, so when you are building content as a content manager, plan your content as the same way the city planners plan the city. Where are you going to have high-rise buildings? Where are you going to have low buildings, right? What areas are you going to have banks? What areas are you going to have industrial layouts? What areas are you going to have markets? You get, and all of those things. So it's the same way you think about your content when you start out, or when you start out to manage content for people, for organizations. Segment what the organization does. You get, what are their services, what are the different services they render, what are the different market audience they want to target. Then for this different market audience, how well do this market audience bring revenue to them? Now, how many content will this area need? So you map it out that same way. For this other area, for this kind of clients, do they need well detailed contents that are long? Then it means that every content that will be in this category have to be long form content. Then the content that will be in this other category have to be short form content. So you segment all of it. You follow the same pattern. Learn from the social media platforms. In social media platforms, they have what we now call shorts that are very short but keep people engaged, right? Short form. So you should have your content that would be the long form content where you can write up to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 words. And then you also have the short form content that lead back to those longer form content. So you follow the YouTube strategy. In YouTube, you remember, if you've seen maybe Omoni or Bolly's movie or one of these producers, you see that they will put out a short of a short part of the video that is intriguing. Then from that short part, when you just watch it, you now see showing now on Omoni or Bolly's TV, or you see a link. If you just click that link now, it will take you to the fuller video. Now, it's the same way you're also going to be planning your content as a content manager. What contents are going to be the long form content? Then what are the short contents that will be bringing traffic back to that long form content? Also think of it as a major city road. We have the major roads, we have the smaller streets that send traffic to the major road. Do you understand? The major road has a highway. You don't drive slow, you don't drive anyhow. So there are also rules guiding the major road, different from rules guiding small streets, close, and as you have it. So also think of your content in that way. You have the main cornerstone content of your site. Those ones, you have maybe you have a lot of details, including sales pitch that you've put there that can lead to sales. But you still have those smaller content that probably are answering short questions. But if anybody who reads it and wants to get more information, there's also now a link to read the longer form content. So all those smaller content are still feeding that your cornerstone content, which would not be like your major road or your major high-rise building in your city. So plan your content. When you're thinking of your content, plan it the same way the city planners plan the city. So that is all for content management systems. Thank you so much for listening. I will take questions now. Are we there? Questions? Hello? Okay.
We are here. Oh.
Do we
We
have
can hear you.
questions?
We can hear you. Actually, from my own end, I don't have any question.
Okay. All right. Great. So any other question? Betty has questions. So remember, like I said, the whole idea of this class is to understand how to manage content. Content on sites. You get previously what we've been doing is how to put content on the site. This one now is how to manage the contents already on the site and how to plan the contents now. You get, and the last slide I shared talked about plan your contents like the city planners plan the city. So we have just one question. Bethel, okay, we have two questions. Okay, so Bethel and Esosa. All right, so better you take your question, then Esosa can follow suit.
Okay, so thank you so much for this lecture. Thank you so much.
All
So
right.
my question is based on what we have learned today, content management. Okay, so I have this particular site that I'm using to practice this content writing on their blog. So I post on the blog sometimes.
Yeah.
But then I noticed that that site is not still ranking, kind of. However, people are commenting on those on the blog. There was one I posted and I was seeing like 27 comments, 30 comments, 3 comments thereabouts. I think I posted like 4 times or 3 times on that particular site, and I'm getting some comments. So based on this content management, how do I leverage on the comments I'm getting there to write? How do I know what next to write that will attract people to the site? That is number one. Then number two, there is this other website again that has to do with real estate, like rent house. I want to rent an apartment, short let apartment. I will go there and shuffle for apartment and rent. So the challenge now is because I happen to try to after we learned how to audit sites and all of that, try to do a bit of auditing and see what is going on. The site is not still ranking up to now, and part of the problem I'm seeing is that the that we don't have like a description of the images we have, the thorough description of the images. So the images are not ranking to start with, and there are no much words on the site. Like, we talked about using when you said that recently, or the old ways that sites rank is writing more words, maybe 2,000 words, 3,000 words, but this time around it doesn't really have to be that so. But the challenge, one of the issues they say the site has is that there are no much description on the site. So they will just post images of the apartment they want somebody to lease, location, Lekki, amount 200,000 naira, and that's all. So there is no other much like description or anything about the site. So it makes the site not to rank high. So in that case, how do I manage that? As a content manager, probably I'm managing that site. How do I manage that kind of site?
Okay. Is it probably you're managing or you're managing it?
I'm not managing yet though.
Okay. All right. So let's take the questions one after the other. Number one, the sites you are using to test some of these things we're doing. First of all, it now depends on what exactly have you tried out on those sites. And secondly, whatever you're even trying, it usually takes a while for the algorithms to read what you have done or restore those contents. So you can't do it today and expect the traffic to start coming tomorrow or next week, especially if the site is not already a traffic site. So a site that is not already bringing volume of visitors would not do that. So if the site already is having a traffic of, let's say, 1,000 visits daily or 2,000 visits daily, it's easy for because the crawlers are coming every day. Now, these people are coming maybe in sprinkles, or just one today, two tomorrow, and all that. So there's not enough traffic. Look at this thing as movement of vehicles, right? Wherever there are a lot of people, you get a lot of activity. Either people who want to sell something will come, police people will be around so that they will mitigate the work or the activities of hoodlums. You also see road safety people would be around any side where there's traffic. As a matter of fact, they can even form markets in that place. So what am I trying to say is that since the site already does not have that huge traffic, the crawlers might not be coming as fast or as frequent as they should in a site that has a lot of traffic. So you have to be patient with whatever you have done. One. Then two, the kind of content that is being created there. Not all content are searchable on search engines. So you have to understand that if you go and write if I write a content and the title is my bedtime experience, that kind of content is what people like, let's say, Linda Ikeji, they used in their time to blow, right? Those kind of content, you wrote it as a blog post. People get accustomed to your blog and you. Now, people search for content. So the content on that site, are they content that people naturally will search for the words or the title of that content? If they are not content that people can search, like somebody can just stay randomly any place in the world and just type how to get a shortlet in Lekki, right? If that is a content, that is something people can search. Cheap shortlets in Lekki, affordable shortlets in Lekki, agents who can help me get affordable shortlets in Lekki. And now I'm giving you different content title ideas that people can really search for. But if somebody writes a content, this is how I would help you get shortlet in Lekki, nobody's going to type, this is how I will help you get shortlet in. No. So check the title, because those titles form the seed word that people are searching for. So check the title of those content. Then go through the checklist we have already talked about. How well are those contents organized? So if it needs a total overhaul of the contents, they need to be overhauled. Some contents are written like stories. You get why some are written really like you are writing to an invisible person. Some people who own their personal blog, maybe they are building a relationship with the readers of their blog. They tend to write in a way to personalize the interaction. So it's going to be a different approach. So you have to check that. Then most times, blogs where you get people commenting on the content, you have to check two things. Either number one, the people who are building that blog or who built that blog have been building it in form of a personalized. Remember all the sites you've gone to search, maybe you did a Google search. How many of them did you stop to start commenting on their blog? The likelihood is 99% you did not. You just read what you came for and you go. So those ones where people are already commenting, one thing you have to check is the original people that created that site, is it that they created it for a personalized blog? Now, if it's a personalized blog, the approach to driving traffic to that site will be different. So the approach now will not be search engine. You understand? So secondly, another thing is most times check the comments you're getting if they are not spam comment, because people use bots and they'll just go to people's site and just be dropping comments, and then you see a link that will also send backlink to their website, and then the algorithms will read that thing as a backlink to them. You get? So there are some of the tricks that people use. So those are the two things that can happen. If you really want that site, or if you have gotten the keys to the site to say, okay, channel this site, and you want to change the face of the site to be getting traffic from SEO, you need to change the content writing approach. You need to change the titling of the content, and then follow everything we've talked in this class and the review and the other classes. And then it will take a while. It will take maybe, since it's a new site, it might even take up to 6 months, you get, of consistent creation. Yes, it will. Because you need a lot of content. And remember, the first thing you have to do is build a topical authority. So you don't build topical authority in 1 month or in 2 months. You need a lot of content to build topical authority. So that's how it works.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Esosa. Okay, then the other one you asked about the site, the e-commerce site for rentals. Yes,
Yes.
that could be one of it, but it's not all of it, the truth be told. The truth be told, it might not be all of it. While it's good to title your images, it might not be the only reason why the e-commerce site is not getting traffic. You get, it's similar. You need to check the titling. You get, do people search? So when you say house in Lekki, so there's difference between house in Lekki and available house in Lekki February 2024. You get, so if you have available house in Lekki November 2024, if somebody goes online to search, how can I find available house in Lekki? The algorithms are likely to rank or show them a content that talked about available house in Lekki November 2024, because they're making that search in November. The house is available in November. So when that house too have been given out, either that title has to change or that page has to be brought down. So that's where content management systems also come in. So because the house is not gone, it's taken, it should be brought down. Another page should now be created for another shortlet or another rent. So there is a lot that needs to be done. So you from the outside might not be able to analyze all of it until you also have the keys to the sites, see what is happening in the back end. Then I forgot to add, the 2 sites in question, they have to be signed up to a Google Analytics account, because you need to be able to actually see, not only guess. You need to see which pages on that site are actually getting traffic as at now. So, and which one is bringing the main traffic? You know, there are pages that bring the major traffic and then distribute it to other pages. That was what I was talking about, the highway. Yeah, it could be one page or 2 that are bringing more of the traffic. So you need to know which page exactly or pages are the ones bringing that traffic. So the analytics, Google Analytics report will show it to you. It will show you how many people visited the site in a day, how many visited in a week, how many visited in a month. So all those sites, both the e-commerce one and this other blog, they have to be signed up to a Google Analytics account. It's part of content management process.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Esosa, your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the class. So my question is, when you were talking about how we can manage content, you said we should consider the website's loading speed. So for a website that doesn't load very fast, what are the things we can do to improve the loading speed, to increase it?
Oh, okay, so there are a couple of them. Number one, I already talked about removing broken links. So broken links so maybe there are sites you referenced on your content. Those sites now, for one reason or the other, have gone out of they've shut down. So that link will not be showing 404 error when somebody clicks on it from your site. So you want to change all of those things. The size of your images. So as a rule of thumb, every image you're using on your site on any page on your site should not be more than 100 KB. So resize all the images on the pages of your website so that they are small enough. You get 100 KB should be the maximum. Then if you have, check the amount of links you're adding per page. Try to reduce the amount of external links. External links now are links taking you to other people's sites. You get maybe minimize them to just 2, because these sites that you're linking to, their loading speed too affects your own page that is loading, because you know the link has weights too. So you should look at it like that. Link that is on your site is a data. You get the pictures on the pages of your sites, they are also data. So when somebody opens it, the total time it takes for that page to load will be the total time it will take for the images to show, the links to become active, and all of those things are data. So you can do all of those. Then you can change or increase your hosting plan, right? Your hosting plan, you can also increase your hosting plan. That is the ultimate. So those are the ways.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. So that's all we have to take for today. In our next class, we're having Great Man. And I already mentioned that he's going to be taking us on, what's it called now? He's going to be taking us on monetization, right? So all these things we've been talking about, how can we position ourselves to monetize the knowledge, to monetize the skill, and utilize it for growth. You get, whether as freelancers, whether as full-time gigs, however the case may be. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Sorry, let me just, I'm supposed to flash that. Just a minute. Do I have it here? Oh, wow, I don't. Okay, I don't have it here. So, but that's for the next class. As usual, again, I know I've not mentioned, but always remember the training is being organized by Fasthire. And as usual, we are asking again, we need you guys to support our brand, support our content, support us, recommend us for our services. You're connected to us on different social platforms. Please don't turn blind eyes when you see our content. Share our content, recommend our content, recommend our services. When you hear people who need what we are doing, recommend us, please. That's one way you can always support us, whether it's on IG, you see our comment. I know a lot of us are on IG or on LinkedIn or on Facebook. Please support us. Even if you're not the person who needs it, you never can tell somebody who needs it among your networks. So always help us share our content and do that. Hope we're going to be doing that, because I'm feeling like we're not doing that. If you're going to be doing that, please leave in the comment section. Yes, I will. I want to see how many people want to help promote us. Nobody's promoting us. Nobody wants to. Are you serious? Okay, only Esosa. That's serious. Only Esosa wants to help promote us. I've been noticing some people do not stay to the end of the class. And Bethel, okay, Bethel says she will. Who else will help promote our brand? All the people in this class, everybody now has gone quiet. Mohammed, I must. That's great. That's great. Okay, thank you. Please sign in. Please, from next time, nobody should sign in until I have given the go ahead to sign in. Next time, anybody that signs in before I have given the request to sign in to be null and void. So let's do the signing now. Take a screenshot, do your signing, take a screenshot, Do your sign in, take a screenshot. Do your sign in, take a screenshot.